What's going on, y'all? We're back. Austinite Podcast. I'm David.
I'm Pamela.
And we got a special guest today. We got Austin from Heal THC. So, Austin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce us to Heal THC?
Well, we are a family-owned, operated company. Been operating for about 3.5 years now. Born and raised in Oklahoma. Just trying to provide the best medicine we can.
Yeah, we actually got connected to Austin through our medical dispensary up in Oklahoma, our Austinite Oklahoma dispensaries. He came through, and just like us, he's another family-owned business that's trying to make it work in this cannabis game, just this time with the medical patients. So it's really awesome to see. So how did you guys get connected with us?
I'm a salesman, so I went out, found you guys, had a great location, started working with you guys on getting y'all products, and built that good relationship.
And now we're always, we have a good relationship, a business relationship.
Absolutely. That's why I'm down here, down in Austin.
And is this your first time on a podcast?
It is. It's my first time.
Welcome.
We'll give that.
Now he knows his buttons.
The proper, yeah. We took a little hiatus, but we're back on the podcast game. Yeah, we had to get Austin. We've been trying to get him down here for a little while now, but with the Oklahoma and Austin stores, we're usually down here because of school and everything, but we get it all working. So we know the struggle because we're also a family-owned business, and we have to go through kind of the same headaches. So how does your family, being a family influence, play a role in your business?
Well, being a family-owned, operated company, you have a good connection with your team, and you don't have to worry about trust because that's there. At the end of the day, you have people surrounding you trying to be the best we can be as a company. So that's the number one thing is trust. We're a family, so we're always going to be there. Company's not going to go crazy because it's a bunch of employees. It's a family. We're going to stick together.
You got that loyalty in there.
Absolutely.
And we feel that here. And I mean, we love our Oklahoma location as well, but just for us, we're born and raised Austinites. So for here, that's very much this location.
Yeah.
And not saying that we don't love our Oklahoma employees, but as you grow and stuff, you have to open up the doors for other people and letting other people in and stuff like that. So we definitely relate to the family aspects.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Right. Well, if you don't mind, introduce us to the family of Heal THC. What's everybody's kind of role? Introduce yourself maybe in your role too.
Well, it started with my dad. He brought the idea to me. He's the president of the company, kind of does all the business aspect, really knows how to run a business. He was in the landscape industry before for 15 years, so he knows what he's doing on that aspect. And we went to school in California for a 2-week class on cannabis and kind of educated ourselves before we even started. Then we have Karen. She's a pre-roll master. She makes all of our pre-rolls. She's just our stone. She's great. So, and then I make all of our cartridges, do our manifest, invoices, and the grow. So I manage that.
And you drop off all the samples. That's how you got connected with us, right?
That's how I do it. I do all the sales now and transportation as well.
Austin also came through today, dropped off some stickers, some swag, and also some of his new THCA stuff that he's been working on for us down here. So check out some of that. We've got, which one is that, the fried ice cream?
It's a fried ice cream cake, live resin, THCA.
Yeah, and then we got the one I was smoking on right here. That thing is awesome. Which one is that?
Watermelon Skittles. Really good terpenes.
Yeah, these things are awesome.
That was interesting. I didn't know that because same with our dad. Our dad, well, David's my boyfriend, by the way, if you didn't know, but he does e-casher trucking too. So I guess kind of like the landscaping, but his, I guess, just dirt trucks, all that stuff too.
Yeah. Knowing how to run a business is key to this industry because you got to know how to run a business first.
Yeah, that's really what it is at the heart and soul of it. But what kind of persuaded him? Was it medical cannabis getting passed in Oklahoma to just kind of jump on board for it?
Well, so while he was working on his landscaping business, he stayed with me while he was doing out-of-town trips and stuff. And I kind of brought to his attention that one day I want to grow 1,000 plants. That was one of my goals. And about a year later, he calls me. I was living in Arkansas at the time, running a sneaker store. And he calls me. He's like, "I have an opportunity. We can start this. We can really put a foot in the door." And so I moved out to Ardmore. We started our our farm and just been learning and providing good clean medicine.
Yeah. And as they say, the rest is history, right?
That's right.
Until the rest is being made. So tell us a little bit about your cultivation practices. Break down kind of the grow that y'all have going on down there in Ardmore.
So we have a clone room, a veg room. When we first started, I bought a ton of seeds.
Yeah.
I wanted to start with genetics that I produced. So I would pop thousands of seeds and pheno hunt. I would find the very best of the best looking terpenes, how it treated you as a patient. We started this because the pharmaceutical industry, Oklahoma is known for opioid addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started with Blue Dream, Bruce Banner, all
Stuff
of
to
the...
just get people to relax.
Yes, all of the stuff you could use instead of opioids to kind of get you off of opioids.
Yeah.
And so that was the main purpose when we first started, is to provide a clean medicine that you could use instead of opioids.
Yeah. And are those some of the same strains that you started from seed that you have as clones today?
Yes.
That's badass. Yeah. Do you even start from seed now at all?
I do start from seed.
Yeah.
I still do to this day because,
That's good.
yes, you can get clones from other people, but it just feels crazy to have a strain that you grew from seed, pick it out of a bunch of 50 to 100 seeds, and it's not the same as anyone else's strain in the market, because it's something you grew. Every seed is different. Every genetic is different. Yeah. And so they all have their own terpene cannabinoid profile.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. And then even how you mentioned the, for like so strong on the medicine, like we believe in that too so much, because kind of the same thing with us with Estella and her lung disease that she had. And then just everyone, I mean, Austin isn't as crazy, but we have had people come in as well, and they're like, hey, I'm trying to stop doing this, or I know someone trying not to do this. And, you know, being able to provide a healthier alternative for people is amazing.
It's awesome.
Absolutely. That's why we do it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But of your operation, I know you said you're doing the extraction, the cartridges, and everything. Is that your favorite part of it, or do you have a favorite thing that you love to do every day?
You know, it's all my favorite, but when it comes down to it, I love to see the faces on patients that it works.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing, is when we go to do pop-ups and we meet our patients and they say how big it has changed their life, and finding that right strain that just really reacts really well with you. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest joy I get out of it, is seeing the results.
Yeah.
And so do you have a personal like favorite strain, or like dad, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So over this past 2-3 years, I've had a lot of favorites, but the one that has stuck with me, that is just my outstanding favorite, is Lemon Splash. It's a lemon tree horchata combination, and it's the most just relaxing profile I've had. Tastes like lemons all the way, and it's just the best tasting, best relaxing strain that I've ever grown.
I don't know if I've tried it. I'm going to have to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. But back to, I guess, the patient aspect. Why do you think it's important to educate more customers and maybe break the stigma that's been negative on cannabis for so long? Because I'm sure even in Oklahoma, there's people that still aren't too fond of it.
I would have to say cannabis is, a strain is not going to affect me like it does you. And so that's the biggest thing, is finding a strain that works well with you. And the stigma goes way back. And so you're trying to break stuff that you were taught raised up, and not really trying it because of the stigma.
Exactly, yeah. And people that even put those stigmas sometimes don't even know, haven't even tried it before.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's crazy to think about. But I know Oklahoma had their legislation for recreational in March, and it didn't pass, right? So what were your thoughts on that? Did you agree with that or disagree? Or
I'm glad it didn't pass, because
I've heard that, yeah.
Because the laws weren't set up straight. I mean, it would be great for Oklahoma's market, but we are still new in the medical market. We still have a lot to learn, still have a lot of laws to go into place, and we need to take our time. And we don't need to rush into something and not make it what it needs to be.
Yeah. It's coming. I know it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It needs to come right, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome. But take us through a typical day in your life at the operation. A typical day, work day.
Well, I get to the farm, and we kind of have our daily meetings and kind of go over what we're doing for the day. I'll reach out to all of our vendors and see if they need any orders for that week. Then we either make products. We're always making pre-rolls, always making cartridges. And then it's checking on the plants, making sure they're healthy, seeing what needs to be done there, and then making manifest, transporting. And it's different every day. Yeah. There's not a set day. It's just show up and we go with the flow.
Get done what needs to be done.
Absolutely.
And I know with family too, I feel like it's just a grind. It's like not really more. Everybody has a set schedule. Everybody's like, well, I get off at this time. Like it would be at a normal job. It's like, well, we got to get this done. Not even if it's today. It's like this week. It's like this is gonna be the project, and it's like it's not one thing, then it's gonna be another. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no set time. I mean, things come up, and you got to be there. You got to be there.
And so you said that you're at the grow a lot. So how did you just get into that? Did you just start doing it yourself, or you mentioned going to the course in California as well? Is that where you kind of like learned cultivation, or?
Well, when it first became legalized, I was one of the first 250 patients to get my medical card. I had to drive all the way to Tulsa and pay an outrageous price just to get it. And once I got it, there wasn't even dispensaries open at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get some seeds. I'm going to try and grow. And I fell in love with it. I mean, I had my first harvest, and it wasn't the best, but I grew it, and I loved it. And from then on, I was just stuck.
Next time
I loved
was better.
it. Yeah, and it gets better every time. It's you live and you learn.
That's awesome. Yeah. When was that? When did you get started?
But then I was set up with an appointment as soon as it was legalized.
Yeah,
so from day one, I've always enjoyed it, and I just wanted to be 100% safe with it.
Yeah, heck yeah. And it's like if you can't go to a dispensary, then it's like, well, then why? Got to take advantage of something.
Exactly. You can't. You need it tested and to know what you're actually getting these days.
And do you remember what year, like when it all, I guess, started for Oklahoma?
I believe. I could be wrong. I'm not too sure on the exact date, but I think it was 2017 or 2018 or even. I think it's 18.
Because the Farm Bill here too, when we first started even selling CBD, like that wasn't even like a thing until like 2018 too here in Texas. So
what would you say is a common myth about growing cannabis?
It's easy. It's the biggest myth. It is not easy. Yeah, there's so many factors that come into it, and we only know about 5 to 10% of cannabis. Yeah. And that's why I want it to be federally legal, is so we can do the research on it and dial in strains that help with this certain order.
Yeah, I think there's a ton to look into, even as far as like maybe even substrate. It's like agriculture in general is like, what I love about it is it's such a growing, like it's evolving, it's constantly evolving. It's never going to stop, like finding new information, cannabis, agriculture in general. So it's really amazing to watch.
And then I guess talking about the legislation stuff in Oklahoma, is there anything coming up in like the cannabis legislation in Oklahoma that you know of right now, or that you want to highlight?
There's always new rules getting introduced, which is good. It's just being reasonable and being for the cannabis industry. When we first started, it was the most lenient, industry out there, and now it's starting to get regulated properly.
And some people aren't adapting well to it, I'm sure.
Not adapting well because there's a lot of companies that know how to grow great medicine, but don't know how to run a business. Mm-hmm. And that's a big part. And so when you have all of these laws coming into place, you have to be updated with it. You have to stay on top of it. You have to know how to do all your seed to sell programs. And it's a lot. It's a lot to handle, but if you stay on top of it, you can keep a hold of it.
Yeah.
And so just out of curiosity right now, how big is your team? right now?
You would laugh. It's 3 people.
No, you're not surprising us. I mean,
We had
That's
about
crazy.
12 at one time when we first started
Okay.
and stuff, but we got a grip. We know what to do, and we crush it. We put out numbers, and we still are able to take care of every client. And we just got it fine tuned, and we love what we do.
that is awesome. Cranking it out with 3 people.
3
That's
people.
crazy.
It's crazy to say, but we do it all. We're in, I think, over 30 locations.
Wow.
And it just feels amazing to say that we're able to do it with just a small group of family.
That is awesome, yeah. So if you're all at either our Ardmore location or in our upcoming Marietta location, come check them out. Heal THC is all over our shelves. Pre-rolls, cartridges, the whole 9. They are so awesome, yeah. But what is your favorite way to consume?
I'm a big flower guy. I love my flower. Out of a paper, I love to taste it. That's my biggest way to consume. I consume joints. That's it. Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
That's it.
We weeded off blunts a couple years ago and tobacco, everything like that. Now we're straight paper. That's a lot.
Yeah, the tobacco changes the high on it and
Yeah.
the flavor. And when you're growing cannabis that has a great terpene profile, I don't want anything else getting in the way of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a while though, before, that was even, like we said, 2018, we could barely see CBD flower in stores. So it was like, before that, it was like, we were just getting whatever flower we could get. And then, rolling it with most of the time also like cigarillas or whatever.
Yeah.
And not even thinking about it. But then as we like started getting into the cannabis industry and all that stuff, you start paying attention more and getting higher profiles and all that stuff. So yeah, joints are the way to go now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I could ask, if you could even put it in words, I know y'all probably got a whole lot cooking. I know how it is. But what's next for y'all? What do y'all got upcoming?
So we're actually, we just built a new facility on 20 acres. So that is what we are working on now. That's what's next. We just released these new disposables with the holographic designs.
Yeah, those are awesome.
So that's what's next. And then we're also going to be coming out with the new CBD lineup here soon.
Awesome.
That is strictly for the medicine, maybe 1-to-1s and straight CBD. So we're looking into that, and
That's badass, y'all, yeah. And that's 3 people, and I feel like you don't even have to break the formula that y'all were going from. Y'all weren't doing anything wrong. So that's a whole lot to look forward to. Check them out. Where can everybody find y'all on socials and everything like that?
So we're on Instagram at healthc_cannabis. We have a Facebook that's healthc_cannabis.
And I was looking at that earlier, and it was like kind of confusing us because we were like, it's perfect for y'all because you're highlighting, everything like that. But it's like, it's Heal THC, but you highlight the health in it. Mm-hmm. So do some people just say Health C too?
Most everyone calls it Heal THC. That's pretty much what everyone calls it. I call it Health C. It's like healthy, but healthy.
Yeah.
We also go by a health cannabis company. So we have 3 meanings. And I love them all.
Has that always been y'all's name?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Day one.
That's so fucking clever, yeah. Hell
Yep.
yeah.
And then do you have any questions for us? Just wondering here that you're here in Texas right now, so things are a little bit different.
Plan this for a while.
How's it like now that it's legalized or decriminalized?
So I would say I feel like one of the most confusing things that we get from people out of state are they're just always of course asking about the legislation here and the rules and all that stuff about it. And it's just really crazy that how you said, even starting out, it's there is really none right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only real one that we have is Delta 9 is restricted. And even then it's not completely even you can still use it. Mm-hmm. So you're mixing in your CBD with, to get certain weights or whatever. And there's just, I know if you go to Cali, you go to Vegas, and or I'm sure even now in Oklahoma as well, you can't smoke you're not supposed to smoke on the premises that you're selling.
Correct.
And here, there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Simple things that are common amongst other recreational or even medical states are we have none of it right now.
And I would say Oklahoma was like that in the very beginning. we didn't know how to implement those rules. But once we started finding out, the rules started to come out, and it got better.
Yeah.
I mean, now everyone is a little bit more educated.
Yeah, and we were hoping Texas would maybe learn from that, but it looks like we're going to do more of the same, a little bit of backtracking here.
Yeah.
Because, the first thing I thought was just a lot more questions. We get a lot of questions. People type in dispensaries in Austin, never been to Austin, touching down, they're on the airplane, and they'll come straight here because we're right off the airport. So we get a ton of questions, but I will say it probably is the best way to, get the ball rolling and just keep it for other states because, Austin has always been, I feel like, lax. Or like chill, very chill, like on cannabis in general. Compared to other counties surrounding us, they're very relaxed. I would say. We got an honorary Austinite Podcast question that we always
ask everyone, and it has been a while. So, what would be or who would be in your dream joint rotation? I'm not gonna say blunt.
Yeah, like a
joint rotation. Well, if I would have to say, I'd say 3 people. Just naming names. I think Theo Vaughn is hilarious. That would be a funny conversation and just a good time with Joe Rogan and Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah.
I think that would be just the funniest conversation of lighting up a joint and just hearing what they have to say.
Hell yeah. And now you got to find them here, bro.
Yeah,
Because now they just opened up that mothership, bro. It's like they're always smoking, too. Because we went and saw them, I feel like, a couple months ago with the Vulcan Gas Company, and they had a little private room, and I swear they were all just session back there.
They're I believe Joe lives here in Austin, and that would be just crazy to have smoking a joint with those 3 guys.
We're gonna get there one day.
Yeah,
That's
the goal. You got to write it down and make it happen.
Manifest it, yeah. Well, I'm glad we finally got you down here, bro. We've been waiting forever. I think we planned this like 3 months ago for the first time, and I'm glad we finally made it happen. Hoping to see you again. You got to pop out to one of our events. We just had Blazing Bingo last night. We got to have you at the next one.
I saw that. If I definitely should have made it out.
Yeah, but we're bringing everything to Oklahoma too. We got the event center out there too, so hopefully the ball's gonna keep rolling and we're gonna keep everything going. So keep up with Austin, keep up with Heal THC on Instagram and everything like that. I think we're gonna wrap this episode up here, y'all. This is the Austinite Podcast. I'm David.
I'm Pamela.
And thank y'all so much for watching. Shout out Austin one more time. Shout out Heal THC.